G'day YouTube, Down to Bricks here. What you building? Very excited today to bring you this review face-off. I have a real soft spot for this build. Of course, it's the clone turbo tank. But this isn't just a standard review. We are going to do a comparison between these two sets. So in the blue corner, we have set 8098. It's the clone turbo tank from the Clone Wars. It's 1,141 pieces, 6 minifigs from 2010. And in the red corner on the right, we have set 75151. It is the clone turbo tank from episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It has 903 pieces, again 6 minifigs from this year, from 2016. And if we're talking about dollars, because we have a 2010 set, I'm not going to go through all the different currencies. Let's just have a look at the sale price, the retail price in US dollars. On the left, the 2010 model sold for $120 US, and on the right, the new one is going for $110 US. Now crikey, I'm keen as mustard to talk more about these sets, but let's arm you guys with all the information, all the views, all the ins and outs of these two great sets. Let's go in, start with the minifigs, have a look at the sets, and come back and have a chat. For the Clone Wars minifigures for the 2010 turbo tank, we have a couple of clone troopers. One is a commander clone trooper, so he did come with all his kit, but I haven't got him kitted up. We've all seen these 1,000 times. Of course, we get the clone printed face, and there is the rear printing. Two very nice minifigures here, Ahsoka and Ayla. They are very, very nice. Some great printing, some great molds. The head pieces are very cool. Looking from the back, there's no rear head printing on these minifigs, but just looking at the moldings there, those head moldings and the printing on them, they really are superb. Two more great figs in Anakin and Cad Bane. Great printing on Anakin. Really like the torso print. No leg printing, unfortunately. Again, great torso printing on Cad Bane. Great face printing. Really like that. It's rather hard to show, to get the light in there to show that face print because of the awesome hat. I mean, how cool is that hat? That is my favourite piece of all these minifigs. And from the back, again, no rear face printing, and actually very plain from the back, full stop. On to the 2016 minifigs, and yes, we have to start here. Love them or hate them, we do get two battle droids. And now we're talking two awesome minifigs. Don't these look great? We get the Elite Corps Clone Trooper, and we get Commander Gree. Exceptional printing on these guys. Arms, torsos, helmets, very, very nice. Standard clone faces on these guys, and the outstanding print continues on the rear. And again, stepping it up a notch with two awesome minifigures. Quinlan Vos, very nice minifigure. My favourite minifigure though is of course Luminara Undully. Very, very nice. Love that cape. We get a dark brown cape. That headdress is in dark brown. Very, very nice printing on her torso and legs. Great printing on both these minifigs. The face printing on both, very nice. And from the back, we get a better look at the head pieces. So the hair piece on Quinlan, very nice hair piece. And the headdress on Luminara, very nice moulding, that one. Removing those reveals the alternate face print, and we get a better look at the rear torso print. So starting with the 2010 turbo tank, the first thing is it rolls very nicely. We do get suspension as well, and just to show you how that goes, it does go over your hand or some mounds quite good. Looking down the side here, we do get some nice greebling. The panels are made up using multi-layered plate, so it gives it a bit more depth and a more substantial feel to those panels. We do get a sticker on the side here, which is the only sticker to this set. We get one each side. And of course with the turbo tanks, it's not just what's on the outside but what's on the inside. So we do have this center compartment that opens up to reveal a weapons cache. If we push that out, so we get our blasters here that we can all clip on. The main panels have a locking hinge which you lift up to allow you to drop the side down and reveal the little command center. And that just simply slides out. And we do get some printed tiles there. And it's a pretty neat little build. And while we're looking at the sides, let's flip it around. Drop the panel to reveal the Scout Walker, which again is a very nice little build. Inside we have some storage boxes and a couple of displays in the form of printed tiles. Very beastie looking from the front. We have a couple of moving cannons. We have a little cannon or communications dish on the roof. And of course we can open the whole thing up to reveal the dual cockpit. Now we do get a little bit of a look at the interior Technic pieces to make up this build with, but a style of build like this, I don't think that is too bad. And very tricky to show is the printed slope for the display panel. And not only do we get a front cockpit, we also get a rear cockpit. On top we have a turret, which of course you can turn and adjust up and down. And to open up again, we have a dual seated cockpit with some simple controls. And looking along the top, we do get some nice details on there as well. We do get another rotating gun. Of course, these side weapons rotate as well. And one of the great things is we have a handle, which of course you can just pick the whole thing up and it makes it very easy to transport around. So here we go with the 2016 turbo tank. So let's start with the rolling, and again that is very nice. The suspension actually feels like it's a little bit smoother, works a little bit better on this model. And let's have a look at how it goes over some terrain, and again works very nice. Again, down the sides we get some very nice greebling, looks really good. One of the outstanding things with this set is there is no stickers at all, absolutely no stickers, so I really love that. And onto the compartments. Again, the rear midsection folds down to reveal a weapons crate. And that just slides out. It's a little bit sparse in there. They do give you one extra thermal detonator, which I didn't add into there. So for the main panel, there's no locking mechanism to drop that down. The hinges have a lot more friction to them, so you don't need that. Just before we drop that down, do note that there is some spring-loaded shooters as well. And they can actually get in the way a little bit when you are lowering and putting this panel up, so you do have to be careful with that. The good thing with this model is when you drop the side panel, the whole side comes down, so you actually get to see a little bit more of the interior. You get to look into the front cockpit from the side. The midsection there really just reveals more of the Technic build, but that's okay. And of course inside we have our AT-RT Walker, and there we just fold the legs back, lift up the shooter, communications comes up, and there is our Walker, and that is a rather cool build. I really like this. This front weapon here is actually on a ball joint, so you can move it around quite freely, and just the color scheme with the olive green, really like this Walker. Dropping down the other side so we can see in there a lot better. There's not a lot to reveal on this one. There's no other little compartments or anything. We can see that there is a little wheel here that we can turn, and of course that is to raise the little lookout. So turning that actually lifts that up. And that is a very nice little play feature. And notice on top there, we can actually turn that around. We do get a printed display. And the other thing to note is we do get 2 spare spring-loaded shooters, and they just clip inside the panels there on each side. And looking from the front, it does look very menacing. We do get the guns at the front, which do lift up and down. However, they're not independent of each other like in the last model. To take a look inside, again, all the panels open up. It does reveal more of the Technic pieces of the build as in the last model. Quite simple with the cockpit. Again, it is a dual cockpit. We just get a simple steering wheel with this one, and we do get another one of the printed cheese slopes for the display. And on the rear, we do get another turret. This time it is stud shooters. Inside, it doesn't open up as much on this one. It is a single seat in this cockpit. We do get a mug in there. Of course, you get a mug. It's a clear one this time, not a red one. And again, we get a printed display piece. From the top, a lot of greebling. Looks really, really good. We get a very nice turret on top which spins around. Again, you can spin these side weapons. And if you look very hard, it is there. Again, we have a handle. And it does drop back in very easily. So you can just pick that up. Another great idea. Well, there you have it. What did you think of that? I'm going to tell you what I think. Of course I am. I think we have 2 fantastic sets here. There is a lot of good points about each of these builds, so let's have a bit more of a chat about those. The compact build of the new one, the extra greebling, I actually think that one looks very nice. I love the splash of the olive and the dark tan throughout that build. Sometimes you just can't make up for that sheer size, and that's where the 2010 one does nudge out the new one, doesn't it? I mean, it is a monster. It is a big build, that one. It actually has a bit of a different look because they've used more of the smooth panels, the smooth plates with the studs around the outside, so we do get a little bit of a smooth finish in places that they really didn't go for with the new build. It's got a lot more studs over it. I don't think that's an advantage or disadvantage for either set. I think they both look great. The panel design and the way they hinge and fold down on the new one, I think that is an improvement over the old one. A little bit disappointing we didn't get a dual cockpit on the rear of the new turbo tank. Both great sets for rolling, suspension, both awesome at that. Playability, well, I actually have to say I think the 2010 one edges out the new one simply just because of the extra items that we get inside it. So it just feels like inside they are packing a bit more in there. We both get walkers. The new walker, I mean, wow, doesn't that look cool? That I like the old one, but that new one is a big improvement. I think that looks really, really good. But of course we get the control panel, we get a weapon stash. So I think it's just probably a little bit more there to play with. And if we're going to talk minifigures, well, I guess it's going to come down to with what you're more into with the Clone Wars or the movies. But I just have to say the new minifigs are exceptional. While I do really like the 2010 minifigs, look, I'm not the biggest Clone Wars fan. I didn't really get into it, but I do really like the minifigs. The Cad Bane, he is really cool. The head moldings on Ahsoka and Ayla, very nice. But I think even if we scrap out the battle droids and just look at those 4 minifigures, the Trooper, the Commander, I mean, they are just awesome. The printing on those guys, fantastic. Quinlan Vos, to get him again, we've only got him in one other set before. And Luminara, I mean, that is the pick of the minifigs for me. That is one sweet minifig. I think that's only the 3rd time that we've got Luminara, and we did get a light up version, but I think if you move forward from that, I really think that this is probably the best looking one. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk about what my favourite is out of these two sets. Now it's going to be very hard. Let's just talk about, is it worth picking up one of the older ones, or if you've got the old one, picking up the new one? Look, I think the new one is a great build. I had a heap of fun. I'm going to have a Just Build It coming up of that. It's a 3-part Just Build It, and I had a heap of fun putting this set together. Really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of this build. If you've got the old one, I don't think you can go wrong with getting the new one. To me, you can't have too many turbo tanks. I would even love to have the, is it 2005 and quickly 2007, I think it's 2005. I'd love to have that one as well. But look, I just love both of these. So my advice is, if you're sitting on the fence and you can't decide, I have to say, do it. Just do it. Get it. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, it's not as big, but it does look great. The minifigures are exceptional. The minifigures really bring it up. And that's what I'm going to say now to pick my favourite out of these two. It's very difficult because the minifigures for me, for the new one, lift it right up. So from that, you can tell I'm going to lean towards the 2010. The Walker, the minifigures for the 2016, look, they're fantastic. And they almost bring it up to want me to edge out with the new one, but I am going to go with the 2010. If I'm just looking at the build, just the sheer size of the old one, that's what does it for me. That's what edges it out. The new one looks fantastic, so does the old one. I just have to go with the big size, the big turbo tank. I love that. Well, holy dooly, that was one doozy of a review and comparison. Took me a lot of time to put this together, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope it has been helpful to anyone that's been weighing up, should they go back and buy an old one, should they buy the new one. I hope this was of some help. I really want to hear from you guys. You heard everything I had to say. You got to see everything. So now tell me what you think. Really want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the builds? What do you think about the minifigs? What is your favourite clone turbo tank? Are you going to go with one of these, or are you going to go with the old one? Really want to hear that? Belt it all in the comments. Let's have a chat. Really appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. I really enjoy doing these face-off reviews and comparisons, and I do have more in store, so if you are wanting to see that and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a thing. Got stacks more for you guys. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.